I'm not the same, man, and I could let you check the tag. Now I'm rocking name brand, I'm only chasing after bags. Now I got a game plan, and I'm out here with the 700 3i5s. Look alive, niggas came up on this side, now they on the other side. Oh well, fuck them, dawg, we gon' see how hard they ride. I get racks to go outside, and I spit it with it.
Welcome back to another episode of Dead Ass Serious, the hottest new podcast out right now. And today, I got another banger, y'all, man. I got a special guest with me today. He's a top radio host, researcher, historian, writer. I know you seen him on Out of Darkness, Hidden Colors. Y'all make some noise for us, Mr. Sabir Bey.
How you feeling? I like this setup, bro.
You like the setup?
I'm feeling this, bro. You might have to partner with you on this thing here, man.
Oh, yeah,
it's
most definitely.
Cool.
Man, we happy to get you back in town, man. I seen you on YouTube, man. I had reached out to you and let you know, like, man, we definitely got to get you on the podcast.
That's what's up. I like this, man. That's what's up, bro. How you feeling, man? Yo,
I'm
looking at this, too. Hustle and motivate. That's kind of crazy, though. I love that.
Yeah, that's the YouTube Hustle and Motivate TV. Make sure y'all like and follow and subscribe and check that out.
You on Instagram, too?
Yes, sir. I am Apollo.
I am Apollo on Instagram. That is your John.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? Because I do remember, like, names that pop up. Like, they'll say, how do you remember all these different, like, things that pop up on my feed, and I remember the name itself.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, like, driving somewhere, I can remember exactly where I was at.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I mean? So,
this your first time in Huntsville?
No. This is actually my second time here.
Second time here?
Second time here. You know, it's weird because I never had no intentions on coming to Alabama. I'm going to keep it 100. I never did. You know,
yeah.
I used to make a joke called the Alabama Porch Monkey. You know what I mean? I'm from the East Coast, you know?
Yeah. So what was your thought like? Was it what you expected when you got down here?
No, it wasn't. You know, it was weird because I remember Tommy Davidson used to make jokes about down south. You know, he used to be like, "Don't you dare read. You better point at the board." You know, don't you dare read. You know, you feel that. So when I was in the first time I went, I was in Alabama, and it was a shocker. It was really a shocker being in Alabama to see how many people that was really woke and how many of our people, so-called black people, were afraid to have conversations. You know, it was more Europeans wanting to talk about history than my own people. You know what I mean? So yeah,
it be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It really does, man. But it was cool. It wasn't what I expected. You know, when nobody riding around with Confederate flags on the trucks and talking about lynching, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't see none of that, man. You know, maybe I wasn't here long enough, so I don't know.
Man, it ain't as bad like that like it used to be, like they show you on TV. You don't really see too much of that like that around here.
Really?
Not like that, yeah. Not like you used to. Like when I was a kid, you probably seen it a little bit, but not in this area. Not like that, not like that.
Really?
Yeah. But
wow.
But I'm going to just say some areas. I can't speak for others. You know how they go. Like I can't speak for Birmingham.
Well, I was in Birmingham. I didn't like Birmingham, brother. It made me feel like I was back in those times. Like, yes, sir, massa. Like Birmingham felt like that. I'm no lie. Yeah. Birmingham, not Birmingham, Montgomery. Not Birmingham, Montgomery, I think it was. I think that's where they have the museum at.
Yep.
Montgomery, right? Okay. So Montgomery was more so like that. You know, it was that type of town.
Yeah.
Alabama was a little different. You know what I mean? Because I went to the 16th Street Baptist Church. I went down there, visited that place, and walked around the park. So it was a little different. So out here, you know, it looks like it's more they trying to be like Cali or something like that.
More
now.
Urban, yeah.
Yeah, urban now. You know what I mean? So it's a little different.
Yeah, Alabama trying to pick it up, man. You already know. So.
But it's cool. It's a cool little spot, though.
Who is Sabir Bey?
Well, wow. Let me say, Sabir Bey is just a regular dude, you know.
Okay.
I grew up in Philadelphia. Grew up in Philly. Did radio in Philly. You know, I was in the streets. I ain't gonna lie. I can't hold it over my head. I did things when I was in the streets of Philadelphia. Came into the knowledge about when I was 18, but I studied Malcolm since I was 15. Woke up about 17, 18. But, you know, you still get caught up in the mix of everything. And I joined the Nation of Islam to get out the streets. And then turned around, went back in the streets because the discipline of the Nation of Islam was crazy when I was younger.
When you mean discipline, like...
no drinking, no smoking.
So the kid discipline, it was the teenager discipline that
it was a
hard.
discipline,
Okay.
yeah. You know, certain things you just don't do. You know what I mean? Or they used to pull up on you and put you on a bus.
I ain't gonna
You know what I mean?
So being a teenager in the nation, that's deep though. Like,
oh, you got to be disciplined, brother. And it was different than it is today. I mean, today, you know, it's not like it used to be because they used to pull up on you on the bus if you was literally out in the street tripping. They would have a bus and take you to the mosque at one time. That's
up
how
on
it
you,
was.
throw
Yeah,
you in
pull
the
up on you.
van.
Oh yeah, put you on the bus, brother, and take you to the mosque. So it was a little different. So I didn't like the discipline and went back into the streets. You know what I mean? Because you had to be disciplined. Now it's, to me, this is my personal. A lot of it in the Nation of Islam is a joke. You know, because there is no. You do have some serious people that's in there, but now it's a little different. You know what I mean? Like certain things you just don't do and certain things you just don't say. If you said certain things, you would get checked. You know, as you can see, probably like with Malcolm X, you know, what was happening. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it was a little different being in there. And I went back into the streets at 17, 18 years old. I got shot. Going back into the streets, and didn't wake me up. You know, some people go through this wake up change, to get shot or go through experience, they change their lives. That didn't work. And that's why I can relate to a lot of these young cats that's going on, what's happening right now. So, I woke up, went back into the knowledge, then this information about the Moors came about. And I still was hustling at the time. Came into this knowledge about the Moors, and it started eating up a lot of my time. You know what I mean? And it was weird. I tell this story a lot, that the nation never took me out of the streets. It was this information about having true knowledge of who we are, which just took me out of the streets.
That's what did it for you.
Yeah, that's what did it for me.
So more searching the truth.
Yeah, more so digging about who you are, who we truly are.
Okay, so before we dive into that, I still wanted to touch on, how was it growing up in Philly?
It's weird because I was going to say this on my live earlier today. Philly is bad, brother. I'm going to keep it real. It's not the city of brotherly love. And I tell people that. People say, well, I live in such and such. It's not Philly. It's not Philly. It's not Jersey. It's not Baltimore. Baltimore is a bad place to live, to grow up at. Philly is a bad place to live up, to grow up at. And it was rough. You got to, if you make it over 25 growing up in Philadelphia, you made it. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality. You have a lot of temptations that's there. People trying to be a part of something. So it's kind of hard, man. I just lost my son in Philadelphia at 22 years old, a year and a half ago. He just was killed in Philadelphia. So it's I can understand the pressure, but Philly, you have to keep, they just say, keep your head on a swivel, man.
Yeah.
For real. But
so was
Philly's
it like
bad.
that growing up? Is it the same or has
It's
it changed?
a little different. When we were growing up, I grew up in the late 80s and early 90s, and there was a little different. But when we were growing up with the older heads, with the Black Incorporated, they didn't do stuff around us, or they would tell us to leave a particular place when something was going to go down. If people don't know, Black Incorporated is the Black Mafia, which most people don't understand where that movie State Property came from, with Beanie and them. I know Beans is like my family member, so these things that people look at on TV, I lived it. This is out of Philadelphia. So when you see that movie State Property, that's where the movie came from. It came out of Black Incorporated because actually it was another group called the JBM in the 90s. I don't know if y'all know what JBM was called, the Junior Black Mafia. That's what that was. So they took that movie from Junior Black Mafia, and that's how that was. So the 90s was really crazy too, though, but it's not like it is today because I look at these young cats today killing each other over nothing, being on videos, being on lives, being on Instagram, and people promote this kind of stuff. And again, like I said, living through that and living past 25, you good, because most don't.
Right.
And
Yeah, absolutely. Like it be like that, man. Like, and I really think that's going on everywhere. It's probably just not Philly. I just feel
it's
like
not
the
just
state,
Philly now.
Yeah, it's increasing everywhere.
Yeah, it's increasing everywhere. And again, because of technology now. If you look at technology, back then we didn't have the technology the way we had today. So now everybody's promoting the killing, promoting the money, promoting the guns. And this is why dude, I ain't gonna lie to you. I sat back. They just said recently a rapper just got killed in Atlanta recently. I think it was by his brother, somebody. I don't even know who this person is. They be coming up all kind of new rappers. I'd be like, who is this person?
Yeah, they talking like flies.
Yeah,
rappers,
so it's like every other week or every other month, you have these rappers are dying because of what they're promoting. I came up in hip hop era. I'm a Temple hip hop member with KRS One. I'm Zulu also. I'm in the Zulu Nation also. So we had these types of groups that you can go to squash your beefs. And that's what the Zulu Nation was based on, and people don't even know that. Back in the day when it was doing what they were doing, in the 70s, what they would do, they would literally challenge the police back then, or you had an issue with one another, you would actually come, and sit and have those things resolved.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember the movie Warriors. Remember the movie Warriors?
When did that come out?
In the 70s. The Warriors, go check that movie out.
Yeah, I got
When Cyrus was in the park and they brought all the gangs together and they said, we are one under brother, how we outnumber the police. See, people don't know these types of things and these things that need to be told.
Right.
That was a Zulu Nation bringing everybody together under one. They would bring all the gangs together under one umbrella. See, people don't know these types of stories and what took place at that time. So they had to dismantle the whole Zulu Nation because of what Zulu was doing.
Right.
The Zulus were saying, listen, bro, this is what we're going to do. We ain't going to keep killing each other, fighting each other. We're going to be breakdancing. You follow me?
Yeah.
The whole breakdancing concept comes from that. Instead of us fighting and killing each other, we're going to breakdance.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can stop stabbing each other. They were stabbing back then. So stabbing and fighting one another, they're going to come up with breakdancing. It's the same thing happened in the 80s. Same concept. We come in, to squash our beefs. What happens? We're going to verbally battle instead of us verbally killing, physically killing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how this is set up. In the 70s, it was the breakdancing. Then you had the 90s, 80s with the verbal battle. The first battle rap ever was Kumo D and Busy B, and people don't know that.
Yeah.
That was the first battle rap, period. And most don't know that.
And who you say? You said Kumo D and who else?
Kumo D and Busy B.
Busy B.
Most people don't know who Busy B is.
That name sound familiar, but that's why
look him
Busy
up.
B.
It's a legend. Bang, da da dang, da dang, da dang, diggy diggy dang.
Yeah.
Busy B, man. Come on, man. Got no hip hop. But that's how that was back then. So again, they saw this.
Yeah.
Okay. They're doing it again. Verbal. And then now what happened? 90s
So
with the
was
crack.
it the same time around? Like you right. I ain't real sharp on my hip hop, but I know a little bit. Like Fight the Power. Was that around that time, or that was after?
That was
or
after.
Before? That was after. Fight
Yeah,
the
that was
Power.
almost
Okay.
around the same time, the Fight the Power concept. But even if you listen to it, there's a song called Rise and Shine.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was Karis One, Kumo D. Who else was on? Chuck D. It's called Rise and Shine. You listen to that song, listen to what they were saying. Mo D was telling you, holding the staff, like holding my mic like the staff of Ra. What was he trying to tell you in the song? He's telling you in the song. But these are type of songs that most people won't even hear unless somebody that's truly in hip hop puts it out there. So when I went to radio, I started introducing this stuff back to people. From sitting with guys like Bambaataa or Karis One or Kool Herc or these types, or even Ice-T or Melly Mel, the legends.
Right.
And when you're sitting with these people, I know some people might say, well, that's old school. I would say it's called true school. There's no such thing as old school. Last week will be old school.
Yeah.
So they give you this stigma of, oh, that's old school music. Nobody listens to that. No, nobody's listening to it because nobody's putting it out there to these cats.
Absolutely.
And everything is a vibration.
Absolutely.
So we have to do, like what you're doing, we have to bring that type of information back to the masses of the people so they can get it, because this man don't stop doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's going to keep going. He don't stop.
So for the people, can you drop a KRS-One story? I know I seen. Have y'all did a couple? How many interviews?
We did a
of them.
lot of
I seen
interviews. I was with Chris for a long time, man. Wow, this is weird. I could tell you it's a lot of stories. Which one you want? I didn't see.
We need an exclusive.
PM.
Dead ass here. We need an exclusive. One you ain't dropped yet.
Some things I can't say. I can't say too many things, but I can say this. Ever see the song called Heal? Is a song called Heal Yourself? Human Education Against Lies.
I ain't heard.
You gotta look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna check that out.
So what happened in that line? If you ever go Heal, listen to the song Human Education Against Lies, and it's on YouTube. And that track, I remember Karis One telling me that it was LL Cool J, Run DMC, Freddie Fox, MC Light, Queen Latifah. It was a whole host of people inside there, and LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
What was told in that song that Karis One was telling us that LL Cool J couldn't be a part of that, nor could Run DMC, but Jam Master Jay and Daryl went. So if you look at the video, you won't see Run inside there. At the time, you got to remember what was going on at that particular time with Russell Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was corporate. So Run didn't go. LL couldn't go. LL had to tell his side. He had to say it, but he couldn't be a part of it. So it's a lot of stuff that's in hip-hop that people don't even know that's going on behind the scenes. This story's not even just with that. It's stories that I've gotten from singers like James Ingram about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It's stories that I'm sitting back like, yo, this is really how this thing goes down.
Right.
Like, they can't say this, they can't do this. And I'm like, yo, that's why I'm free. I don't want to be tied to nothing. But that's one of the stories with KRS-One And besides him throwing PM Dawn off the stage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's a lot that is going on with these brothers. But KRS-One have always been a constant hip hop artist, man. He's the most consistent hip hop artist at 56, 57 years old.
And he's still going at it
And
today.
still going ham. He's doing a
Yeah.
show on the 14th. And I think the 17th, one of them.
Yeah. Big ups.
Legend.
Big ups to KRS-One, man.
Legend.
Shout out.
Legend.
So how did you become an entrepreneur?
Well, I've been that way since I was little. My father was like that.
Mhm.
My fathers have always been that. My father only went to the 8th grade, but my father also raised 9 of us in the same household. You know, my father built like literally my neighborhood where I grew up at. Literally my neighborhood. Anybody know my family from South Philly? Do even know that he did stuff in churches. He did stuff with people's houses. And I remember the days when he used to take us out there and have us holding the ladder at 8 or 9 years old. You want to go out and play, but you can't play. You know what I mean? You don't have no say so. You got to be out here, and you had to stand there and hold that ladder or cut that wood. You know what I mean? So I you know, it's naturally that I picked it up from my father.
Yeah,
you know,
that's discipline though.
Oh, it's hell of a discipline. My father, you know, also with him, he used to tell us to never pay a car note or nothing. He said, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. That's why I never had a car note. You know, my mom had a car note, but she was stressed out trying to keep up with the payments. My father never did. But he also told us to always get a station wagon or a truck because you can always make
Especially
money
a truck. Yeah,
with a
most
station wagon and
definitely a
work. And that's
truck.
how my father was. You know, so yeah, I got it naturally from my father, man. You know,
Cool.
naturally from my pop.
How did you know radio was for you?
I don't know. You know, let me tell you the story about that one, how I got into radio, because I got into radio being as a guest on air.
Okay.
And I went into the studio, what was it? Was WRD, I believe that's the first station I was in. I came in as a guest, and eventually the guy was like, yo, man, you should do radio. You got a lot of information. You should come to the radio. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to get no radio. You know, I'm renegade, bro. I ain't like, you know, I don't want to hear none of that, you know. But he was like, no, I really think you should do a radio show. And I'm like, why? He said, because you have the voice.
Yeah.
You know, you have the voice and the information and, you know, the content. Now, you know, took me about 2 months to even think about it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I called my brother Shafiq up, and we just winged it. It was like, you know, this is funny because I'm looking at the podcast. I'm like, this is before YouTube and Facebook and Instagram.
All that. That's why I asked you that, because
That's kind of crazy.
that was a different. You was in it before.
Yeah.
It was a little easy.
Yeah, before it was hard though back then, because really, and people don't understand, like, to be on radio, there's a thing called ear check. And ear check is how you answer the phone, how you communicate with the people, how you use the boards. You know, so all these little things, it's called ear check. And I said I was going to do some workshops on that also. It's how you interact with people. So I have always been good at doing two-way talk. Number one, I'm a Gemini.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I'm an air sign.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I first did it. The second show I went to was called WKDU. It was Hip Hop After Midnight. So I would do that also. I came in as a guest. So what I would do is push the envelope on
After
it.
midnight.
It was called Hip Hop After Midnight. It was from 12 to 3 in the morning. So I remember at my old radio station, my old GM, he used to tell us, he said, yo, Sabir, if you can hold somebody's attention at 12 at midnight to 3 in the morning, you're good.
Right.
So I would hold the attention from 12 to 3, and how I would do it, I would take all the stuff I have learned and bring it to the airways, even with the music. So I would incorporate hip hop or R&B inside what I'm talking about. And that's why I said it flows naturally, but it's not for everybody. This is not for everyone. So, damn, my stomach is growling, boy. What's going on? My stomach is growling like a mug over here, boy. I said, I must be hungry. No, but that's how, yeah, he's still growling. Oh, let me drink some coffee.
Coffee just stimulating your appetite.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
No, but that's how I started on WKDU, how I did WNJC and URD. I just naturally, and actually when I moved to California, it was the same thing. I came in as a guest. So every time I came in as a guest.
It started out like perfect. It wasn't no, you ain't had no learning curves, or it wasn't no.
Nah, it's in you.
Yeah.
This is the thing though, brother. It's like whatever you love to do is what you're born to do. And I tell people this all the time. And maybe that's with me. You know, I didn't know that's what I was supposed to be doing, but it's something that happened naturally.
Naturally.
You know, no schooling.
Who were some of your favorite interviews or interviews you've done?
Oh my God, I have. Who was it? KRS-One, of course.
So you've interviewed him and he's interviewed you.
Exactly, vice versa. So that's how it usually goes. So
Yeah.
Karis won, and actually I just did an interview with Karis one in February. I just did another one with him. Another one was Tommy Davidson, the comedian.
Right.
Shout out to Tommy Davidson. Did him. I did Brother Man from Martin. I did Vanessa Bell Calloway from Coming to America.
You got it, bruh, man. What was that like? Bruh, man.
Yo, that was funny. You know, that was funny. That's a big dude too, though. I ain't go even also my man Lester Spike. Lester Spike. I don't know if you remember him. He played in Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday. He also played in the Wayans Brothers show. Damon Wayans show. What's the with Tisha Campbell?
My Wife and Kids.
My Wife and Kids. He was the father of the boy. I don't know if you remember. He was the big one that would come in the room, and when Damon Wayans was in the room, the big bald head one.
His dad?
Yeah, Lester Spike was the daddy of the boy that his daughter was dating. So if you look him up, you'll see Lester. Yeah, look up Lester Spike.
Pull him up right quick.
Yeah, Lester Spike. And he just recently invited me to his birthday party when I went back home. Yeah, Lester Spike. He played in Any Given Sunday. He told me the storyline about in the movie Any Given Sunday when him and LL and Jamie Foxx got into it. That was the funniest thing ever, dude. Like, they were really fighting in that scene in the movie.
Is this? No, I don't know this.
Let me see.
This him? Which one they got? Lester Spike. I spelled it right.
Spite.
Spike.
S-P-I-G-E-T-H. Yeah, Lester Spike. But if you punch in the cast of Any Given Sunday, they'll pop up too. But
him. Yeah,
Brother Lester.
Buddy. Okay.
Yeah, Lester.
So I can see that.
That's Lester. So he bigger than a motherfucker too, dude. I'm gonna keep it 100. If you see a picture with me and him, you be like, damn. All right, like no real rap. But him, I had AJ, rest in peace, from Friday. Brother AJ, I had AJ on there. Who else did I have on there? Eric Benet on there. So I had a lot of people. Eric Benet interview was kind of funny too, you know, because the way I would do my show, let's say because of mainstream, I would bring these guys on and let them tell their side of the story. So when I remember I seen Eric Benet, he comes in the studio, and I'm looking at him like, who is this bum? Like, I swear. Now, mind you, I'm dressed just like this cat. I have no locks, nothing, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at him saying, well, who is this bum? They let in the door, right? This is just me.
Yeah.
I said, damn, that's Eric Benet. Damn, my bad. So we just started talking and speaking about the sex addiction that he had. You know, people kept saying he had a sex addiction. It wasn't. He didn't have a sex addiction. That's what the media put out there. So he had to come and tell his side of the story. And that's how I would set the shows up so they can come and tell their side of the story instead of one-sided.
Right.
You know, so yeah, him. Who else did I have on there? Jerry Bell from the Daz Band. Who else? I had a couple people on there. Yeah, I said Lester Spike, Brother Man. But it was fun. But the best one, honestly, like I said, was when Tommy Davidson came to the show.
I think I don't know if I seen the interview. Is that on YouTube? I think I seen
That's
that
a clip. That was at a show that I was on a road with Tommy Davidson. And we just started filming. It's weird. And actually, Tony Rock, my brother Tony Rock too.
Yeah. I seen that one too.
Yeah, Tony Rock too. And it was dope though. Tony's a real dude.
You and Tony still close?
Yeah, actually, I just talked to his cousin the other day, and I was it was the funniest thing ever. I texted him, but I didn't want to say, you know, because I was hitting him up, say, yo, was that real? What really went down? Like, but it really went down. It really went down. Nah, dude. And Tone feels some type of way, so I'll wait till I see Tone personally to, you know, because I was just invited to his birthday party. He does a birthday party every year in L.A., so, you know, I'll be at the party sometime this summer. You know, so it may come up.
Most definitely. We got to get the drop on that, man.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, because these things, man, like, I know Will. I grew up with Will Smith, you know, and I can understand that Philly attitude. I understand the Philly attitude, but at the same time, you can't push too many people. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. You gonna snap, you know?
Yeah. So do you think he was wrong? I ain't gonna say if it was right or wrong. Do you agree?
You know, I can't say if it's right or wrong. I mean, this is just my personal, and I stay away from it. This is just me because I don't get into the, you know, to the gossip. because again, we have other things that we need to be dealing with.
Right.
You know, me personally, I say we shouldn't even be at the Oscars because the Oscars has nothing to do with us. You know, so one thing that I had an issue with is that they said Will Smith set us back. Will Smith didn't set us back. These black leaders and these black scholars are setting our people back. Will is not setting us back. Will is just a regular person. You know, he has emotions. You know, he
Right.
know he's human being. People think these people are not human beings. They're human beings when you attack a person's family. You know, I had people attack me. People attack me. Talk about my son when my son got killed. I said, nigga, if I was close to you, I'd probably choke you. You know what I mean? I was, you know, but sometimes you got to, you know,
Thick skin.
you know, you got to have the thick skin, man. You know, and it's real. And it's just that people do things that's to trigger people. You know what I mean? And that's, like I said, it's bigger than Will. It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I'm not married, so I can't say that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
but you come at my children, I'm gonna come at you, and that's just the reality.
Family. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, how did you transition into creating content?
You know, it's funny. It's just something that happened. It's just, you know, like a comic. A comic could come out, a real comic, like Eddie Griffin. Shout out to Ed. Forgot about that interview with Eddie Griffin too.
Eddie Griffin, okay.
Oh, no
Shout
doubt.
out
One
to
of
Ed.
one of the rawest dudes, dude. Like in comedy,
Yeah.
like he's one of the rawest cats that you're gonna see in comedy. Eddie Griffin.
He got a podcast. I check him out.
Yeah, he
It's
got a
on
podcast.
YouTube.
He got it.
Yeah.
You mention my name on there. Watch what happens. You can say that nigga Sabir.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but no, Eddie's raw. And what happens, you know, as a real comic, like you can get content. Like I may be out here and walk or be on a train or be on a plane or hear a conversation with a person, and I'll create content just from that alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's it. It's not something I go research. It's just in me.
So I was just finna get to that, so to let the people know you feel like it got to be in you.
It has to be in you.
Cause some people research, look on YouTube, and
Yeah.
and then the thing is, I feel like is you started when it was analog, correct?
Yeah.
And then now it's gone completely
Digital. Exactly.
So how did you? What's the word I'm looking for? How did you cross over all your
You know,
material
it's
from
weird.
analog
No,
to
because you know
digital?
it's weird. I literally, bro, I got masters. If you listen to my stuff back in 2003,
Yeah.
you would think you were listening to it
Now,
like today. If you listen to any of my, like all my cassette, and I'm saying cassette tapes, you
Yeah.
would literally think you're listening to me today, like everything that I'm saying. So it's not that I crossed over. It's just something that happens. I mean, I keep up. I'm hip hop, and when
Right.
you hip, you hop.
right,
That's what hip hop truly is.
Right.
You stay hip to what's going on.
right.
So I'm constantly hip hop. And that's why KRS One constantly keep going. So it's not that I'm crossing over to anything. It's just that I'm flowing with the time.
What did it start with? So what was the first content Sabir Bey?
Ooh, I don't know.
Released,
First content.
was a
Ooh,
part
you trying
of,
to,
or-
man, you want me to go back to
finna
2003?
we finna bring them back and catch them up. Yes, sir.
2003?
We finna catch them up.
Man, I think the first one was 2003 when I did radio. I brought Brother Taj Tariq Bey on the show, you know, talking
Yeah.
about the Moors.
The Moors, yes, sir.
You know what I mean? That was the first, I believe, the first show that we started doing. Like,
the Moors. You
Yeah.
jumped straight out.
it was like for a whole year. You know what I mean? That we was drumming at about the Moors, about who we are.
So was it a podcast before a podcast, or it was just like a lecture setting, or was
It wasn't-
just
it was radio.
recordings? Or okay,
It was radio. It wasn't no podcast wasn't even on the scene at that time in 2003. So it was-
Podcast? Would you say podcast is radio?
well, yeah and no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah and no.
Without the music.
The reason why I'm saying that is because I gave you the elements of radio.
Mm.
You have sponsors, you have advertisements, you have air checks, you know, telephones, how you pick up the phone. So it's it's a thing called air check.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast, and then also in radio, you can't have dead air. So if I sat here,
Yeah, just exactly. Yeah,
even for this long,
yeah,
that's money.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. That's why they tell people to keep going.
yeah.
When you have a co-host, so if you are looking for something, the co-host is on the other side of you. Keep it going. Or
Giving you the cue.
if you ever watch the way I do my shows, I'm always constantly telling somebody to come on the show, or I'm trying to get music to actually bring it in.
Yep.
Because you can't have dead air because that's money.
Yep.
And people don't understand that. And people who are like basically are investors or sponsors, they don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. You got to be thinking on your toes. You can't
Quick.
sit back and think, oh, let me see. No, you got to go. That's why when you watch interviews, they go. They constantly. It has to be in you.
It's a conversation.
Yes, you got to keep the
ain't
conversation
scripted.
going.
It's a
Exactly.
conversation.
Now there is another way that you can do it that because of the way set up, like the way your partner is, you have a studio set up in another room. So let's say, for instance, if I use profanity, automatically goes here before you get it. It's like a split second. They can cut that profanity part out and bring it right back like you still live. You see what I'm saying? So there's rooms that's set up like that. Like mine was more so live.
Exactly, live.
So it was live, like literally, like if you say X, Y, and Z.
I see on YouTube you go live a lot. Like
yeah,
you don't
it's
really,
live. It's live. It's uncut.
Yeah,
You know,
raw.
but I understand how it go. So I'm very careful about what I say and how I say it. You know, and if you ever see me on, because I used to do a show in Philly, every second Sunday, so I would say the word nigga,
Yeah,
and he would get upset with me. I'd be like, "What's wrong with you saying nigga? You saying black?" So I would say stuff like that. He would get mad at me. You know, so it's a lot into radio compared to podcasts. Podcasts, you're more free. You know what I mean?
That's what
You're
I was
more
finna
free.
say. Like podcast is like it ain't no restrictions. Like it's on you. Like whatever you want to do.
Yeah, but the thing about the podcast, I don't know if they doing it now, like XM radio or Sirius M radio. It's a little different also, and that's why it's very hard for some people to get on there. It's not an easy thing to get on XM or
Right.
So it's
Get
something
them
totally
deals.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Yasim and Talib Kweli has a show. I don't know if it's still up there or not. I don't even know if their show is still going on. I think it was called something radio, something. It was Dave Chappelle, Yasim, and Talib. I forgot the name of the show. I don't even know if this thing is still going on, but you have to have sponsorships behind you
Exactly.
to keep
That's
stuff
how you
going.
Get paid.
Yeah, not even just get paid, because radio is expensive, bro. It's to be on radio. It's very expensive to be on radio. It's not as easy as what people think it is. I used to pay to be on radio at one of my stations. I used to pay. I think it was $300 or $400. But he $300 or $400 a week. You know, so it's and that was an AM part. That was AM. So it's a little different. So I, like Will Smith said, I paid my dues and our dues pay attention.
Yeah, most definitely.
I paid my dues. You know what I mean? So I know what it goes, and I know how hard it is to really reach a certain audience. But now with technology, you can do it. If you got good content, bro, you can work it. You know what I mean?
So to bring them on up. So after that, what was next? To bring them on down. We giving them a timeline so when they check it out, so we can make sure they can go back and tap into everything.
As far as what now?
We bringing them up after the first one with you and Ty's. We bringing them up all the way to Out of
Oh,
Darkness.
Dr. Sebi. I had Dr. Sebi on the show.
Okay.
Rest in peace. I was the first person to bring Sebi on the show in Philadelphia.
R.I.P.
Also, Sophia Stewart, the mother of the Matrix. I was the first person to bring her on the radio in Philadelphia also. But yeah, it's from that point on, I was like, I got stuck, brother, because I did that from 2003 to 2009, and I never missed a day in radio. Like literally, I'm on the East Coast, so we had snow, whatever. I was there. I think I missed 2 days out of that whole time I've been at radio, and those things, they was trying to get rid of me first and foremost. Let's make that clear, because I was the radical one at the radio station. You know, there was no cameras inside the radio station, so I was saying stuff to politicians that didn't like what I was saying. From sheriffs to city council members, and they didn't know because you didn't watch the person the way we're watching people today.
Right.
Like they didn't know because there was no cameras in the room. So they would automatically just hear us.
Exactly.
So when they see you, they say, "Oh, that was you doing all that?" You know? Oh, really? So they would say things like, you're talking about the station. I'd be like, I'm not talking about the station. I'm talking about the people at the station. So it was things like that. They would try to, slowly but surely get me out of there. But I was always diligent. I always stayed on it. But at a point, I had a breaking point that I said, I'm done. Like I said, everybody has a breaking point. And I was going to leave on my terms. And that's when I left in 2009. But then I started doing film. I did one film called The Naseem's Council on Hip Hop. When I was on tour with Bambaataa and with Ice, you'll see Ice-T in there, Melly Mel in there. The whole crew was called The Naseem's Creed on Hip Hop. And then I moved more. I did another one called The Prophet of the People on Noble Drew Ali. And from that on, I just started doing film, and I left and moved to LA in 2010.
Okay, so to bring things full circle, so all right, I found out about the Moors and started doing a little research, and I came across you and Taj's video in L.A. I want to say it was a lecture. I guess it was basically like, who are the Moors?
Oh, you talking about the one with Sonetta's watermark on it?
I don't know if it was his watermark.
Oh, it was his
but
watermark.
it was the one when he had the girl come up there and he was showing her to point out in the book.
Let me help you again. With the watermark on it?
Yeah, okay. That was
Trust me, if you see that one online,
Yeah.
that's not Sonetta's production, that's mine. He put his watermark on it. That's why I said I don't like YouTube.
Yeah.
He put his watermark on there. Exactly. You talking about that one.
Yeah.
It's called The Moors in America.
But you hosted it, though.
Yeah.
You came on, that's why I was saying,
Yeah.
because what's so funny is that I was in the same spot and you was explaining to the audience, like, what you just told me, like, how your journey was, how you was in the NOI to the Sunni and to the Moor sign. So, what was Sabir's spiritual journey like? So, once you came into this knowledge, I know you ain't stopped there, but, like, what was the path? Like, how, once you came into it, did you leave it alone, then come back? Did you
I never left.
Okay.
I never left. You know, it's weird because there was a brother named Kamar that brought me in. There was a brother named Kamar Gabriel. Most people don't even know who this brother is. He's one of the brothers that left the whole movement because sometimes, again, I don't want to say it's not for everybody. Because you can give your all to something and it can drain you, you know. So Brother Kamar just walked away from it, you know. He the one that brought me in. I used to be a Sunni Muslim, brother. I had the beard all the way down here. I mean, I had the whole beard, you know, Philly thing. You know, you go like this, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the Philly beard had a jalabia on, which I joke about now, called the skirt. But when I saw this brother, I remember him taking me to his house, and the first book that he told me to look up was a dictionary. And I said, you know,
which one?
Regular Webster's Dictionary.
Oh, okay.
He told me look up words, and he was the first person that told me look up prefixes and suffixes and denotations and connotations. You know, he was the first person that did that, and people think it was Taj, and it wasn't him. It was Brother Kamar, and he eventually moved out up into the mountains, and I kept his house where he was living at. You know, and I didn't meet Taj until 2 or 3 years later. You know, and this is how crazy it was because your people, you know, our people, you know, I'm going to say your people, our people, my people, they'll drain you to a point that they'll push you away because there will be no support there. And I understood it. I understand now. At the time, I didn't understand why he was doing it. Now, I understand why. And that's why I don't stop. I just have to find different ways of presenting the information to people.
Right.
You know, even if it's from an entertainment point of view.
Right.
So, you know, I never stopped. I just elevated it. That's it.
And just kept going.
Just kept going. And then I started bringing Taj in.
So with Taj, what did he? What would you say? What skills? Not even skills, but what would you say he gave? What were some things? How did he influence you?
Well, Taj influenced me to do a newspaper. You know, to write books. You know, that's what Taj influenced me to do. Books in newspapers. Because I remember we used to have a paper called the El Moroccan Star, and I remember him saying, I kept telling Taj, yo, man, we gotta. You know, we can't use El Moroccan, you know, because people would think that's something foreign. And he was like, well, why don't you create your own newspaper? You know, I would never forget him saying this. This is back in 2003. Yeah. 2002, 2003. And he was like, why don't you create your own newspaper? And I was like, I'm thinking about that for a second. You know what I mean? Because I had the show that was going to come, Civil Alert. So the newspaper came out called Civil Alert with the help of a brother named Musa. Rest in peace. That because we were heavy into this, man, and again, how you get the people, you have to have literature, you have to have content, you have to have something for somebody, you know. So Taj pushed me to do that. And it's taken me. He beat me up every day. I'm not lying. To this day, telling me about doing a book. I swear. Yeah. And to this day, he keeps saying you should have a book out, or you should have books out. Yeah. But I don't want to make it a thin book or whatever. I want to make it a book that you can. You know what I mean? You digest. Can, you know, read and digest like a roadmap. Yeah. And when again, it's not my time. It wasn't my time to do it because I still have traveling to do and information to get. You see what I'm saying? So when it's your time to do it. I'm not trying to push anything because my life is a book. Yeah. You sit there and recorded me. This is a book right here. What we doing? Yeah. This is a book. You know, and I remember Dr. Sebi saying this one time. I never forget this. You know, Sebi don't have a book. You do know that, right?
Nah, he don't. He taught. He got lectures and
you know what he said to me? You know what he said to me back in 2004? I think it's 2004, 2005. He said, if you want a book about me, write a book about me. Never forget he said that to me. He said, you want a book about me? Write a book about me.
And you gonna know what's funny? He got a lot of books about him.
I know. Trust me. You think I'm playing? I'm dead serious. That's what he said to me. At the time, it didn't hit me what he said. He said, if you want a book about me, write a book. But don't let it be from someone else. Be it from somebody that knows you. You know, and I said, whoa, okay, that makes sense. Okay, write a book about me. And that's what I tell people. It's a book. My life is a book. If you just recorded everything or take any of the information that I have and put it together, that's the book right there. So the book is already written.
Right. So with the Moors, who are the Moors for people who don't know?
Every African American or black who call themselves African American or black, or whatever other name Afro American. I don't know what else the other tags. I don't know what other tags. I don't know what other tags we have, but it's everybody that's called themselves black. You know, that's who are the Moors.
Okay. Anybody who called themselves black. So how could somebody research that? Or because the reason why I'm saying that, I'm a Moor myself.
No doubt.
I'm speaking for other people who's watching the podcast who don't know. This might be their first time hearing the word.
I don't know what a Moor is.
Yeah.
But you know who 2 Chainz is. You know who Little Baby is, though.
Yeah.
But you don't know who the Moors are?
Yeah.
They're Moors, too.
So how far does Moors history go?
To the beginning of time. And this is the thing that, you know, when people don't understand that the Moors are the ancient Cushites, Moabites, and Hammatites.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the Moors. It's just in time the names have changed. That's
right
it.
There. Who are the Cushites?
They are Moors. That's us. They're the same people.
Who were like for people
African people.
What literature are the Cushites in?
If lineage?
Literature.
Well, you can pick up a book. One of the
they
greatest.
In the Bible, right?
Yeah, they definitely in the Bible.
Okay.
You can look it up. Yeah, but you can go into the Bible. I didn't want to go religious. But you know. But my thing is like there's books that you can pick up called Ancient Ethiopian Kushite Empires.
Okay.
There's another book you can get. It's called 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro.
Okay.
By J.A. Rogers. Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers. Anything that's pertaining to Africa, I mean, you can pick those books up. But the Bible, it speaks about us in the Bible also. We are the Moabites.
So this is the point I was making is that people don't know who the Cushites is, who the ancient Moabites is. So that's why I'm asking you, so you can kind of elaborate to where they can go reach out and find those.
But you're not going to find it like, the thing about it though, the Bible, because, you know, it's weird because we're not even really going into the original Bible. Number one, a lot of misinformation, a lot of stuff taken out the new Bible also because I practice Tawahido, and Tawahido is the original form of Christianity. It's the original form. It's from Ethiopia. It's called Tawahido. So the Bible that people coming out of is a King James version. It's like you make a version of something and I give a version of something. So we both have a version. So what's the truth? Right. So you may say, well, Sabir went down this way, but she may say, well, Sabir went around this way. That's 2 different versions of what happened. Right. You know what I mean? That's a version. But the original Tawahido Bible is written in Ge'ez. It's a language, Ge'ez. Geez. So we're not even getting the true scriptures that we're reading. But if you know how to read, like Brother Taj would always say, we don't even know how to read. We don't even know languages. In the Bible, it do speak about us in there as Moabites. The Moors are the ancient Moabites in the scriptures. You know, if you read about Ruth the Moabitess, they're talking about you also. So you're in there, but you don't know that's you because they have stripped you away from that and called you black. Right. Black is not mentioned in there. So in order to erase your history, they had to call you black.
Right. And the books you were just recommending is by a guy named J.A. Rogers.
J.A. Rogers, the legend.
So I ain't gonna hold you up to something, but I'm gonna bring this up though. I heard you in another interview. You said that he deserved a documentary.
Oh heck yeah. I would love to do a documentary, which is going to happen. To do a documentary on J.A. Rogers, you literally he's from Jamaica. So you would have to go down to Jamaica and find where he was from. You know, it would be hard, brother. It's not hard, but if you have the resources, it can be done. But J.A. Rogers truly deserves a documentary, but the elite people here, they're not going to talk about him because they're going to say, oh, what school did he go to? What college did he go to? We ain't got to go to the European college for this. All this stuff, all the colleges and the universities and the laws come from your ancient ancestors, the Moors. All of this comes from you. So they can't teach me nothing about who I am. Yeah. You know, so he definitely deserves a documentary.
I agree because, like you said, he did a whole lot of scholarship before the internet. So and he revealed his sources, so it's out there. Like
how many of these cats show their sources?
Yeah.
How many of these professors or professionals show their sources where they got the information from? And he
Yeah.
was doing this without technology
Yeah.
at the time. Superman the Man, Africans Gift to America,
Yeah.
100 Amazing Facts About the Negro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Nature Knows No Color Line.
Yeah.
Nature, what's his another one? He has another one called Nature something. He has a whole bunch of books out.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about this man?
Mm-mm.
Come on, man.
How did you come across him?
Again, in this Moorish movement, you're going to read those books. Those are the major books that you read. You know, Nature Knows No Color Line or J.A. Rogers' 100 Amazing Facts About the Negroes.
Yeah.
Those are essential. You need those books. Those books are very easy to read.
Right.
Also.
I got them too. I got 100 amazing facts about the
You could do
Negro
a lecture on
and
that
Nature
alone,
Knows
bro.
No Color Line. I got
You
both.
could do a lecture on that alone. That's that one book. Do a whole lecture and because he breaks down the color barrier. And he talks about how black and color is not even old terms. They Middle English terms. You know,
Middle English. That's what age period?
About 1500s. So they ain't got that's modern terms. So it's crazy to me to see all of these black scholars speaking, but not presenting this information. They're saying, well, how old is the word black? I challenge people every day. You should challenge people every day also to be the best.
Yeah.
So I say, okay, show me how far black go. And then black conscious people say, well, brother, it goes back to the ancient time. You know, they'll say, hey, it'll go back to the ancient. It ain't even an ancient word. It's a Middle English word. I mean, we all have children in school. Let's pick up a regular dictionary and read it. Yeah. It don't go that far back. It's only 1500s.
So what would you say to the person who says, what would being a Moor do for me? Or like,
how about trying it? See how that works?
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time. I say, what you think is a magic wand with this? Yeah. We didn't get in this overnight, and we're not going to get out of it overnight. Right. So people say, well, what can it do for what do black do for you? Yeah. You see, that didn't work out. You see what I'm saying? How about that part? Yeah. See, you asked the question with the question. So what did black do for you?
Nothing.
You follow me? So it didn't do anything. How about try it? Yeah. Try that.
So how did you become the traveling Moor?
Just traveled.
Just travel. When did that title? When did that come about? Like, when did the traveling Moor come on Sabir name?
I don't even know. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't. To me, I don't even grab you know, you hear people say that it's people who call you that because of the traveling. I believe I had that they gave me that title before I even started going overseas. And then Phil Valentine, shout out to Phil Valentine. Phil Valentine, I remember I was in Brooklyn, New York. He called me the ambassador of the Moors. And I said, Phil, I don't want that title, bro. Because you can remove that one from me. You know, I don't want it. But he said, no, you deserve it because that's who you are. You know, so that traveling Moor part is just that me traveling. You know, I was going from state to state. And then I started going overseas about 3 or 4 years ago.
What were some of your favorite spots overseas?
Ooh, Seville, Portugal, Malta. A lot of these places, Malacca, and also Marseille in France.
What about some historical spots? So if some people want to go check out some of the places.
Go check out Granada.
Yeah, Granada.
Trust me. Go to the Moorish Castle in Malacca, the southern parts. Stay in the southern parts. The best parts is the southern parts, you know, and you'll find a lot of history that's there. You have a castle that's called the Moorish Castle in Malacca, where Antonio Banderas lives at. He has a couple of houses down there. He actually has a house not too far from the Moorish Castle in Malta, in Malacca. I keep saying Malta. Malta is an island, and Malacca is in Spain. Yeah. So those spots, and you got to check out the Alhambra or the Red House, bro. That's a beautiful place, bro.
I seen you say in another interview, we need allies. Why you say that? So I ain't never been overseas. So if I was to go over there and check some of these spots out, like how would you lay it out for me?
I wouldn't say just allies overseas. I would say even here, even in Mexico, just in case you got to leave. You know, you ever watch some of these movies and, you know, everybody run to Mexico when the floods be coming. You be like, no, get out of here, dude. Who are you? You know, wasn't you just dissing me, telling me we were stealing jobs? You know, that's what I mean by making allies with your brothers, because Mexicans are your brothers and your sisters, no doubt. You got Mexicans, brother. If you really went to Mexico, you see how dark they are there. You know, so they are our people also. But the thing is that when I say making allies, make friends everywhere you go. Or make allies, just in case you need to go somewhere. Even with a homeless person, I say that. And I said it earlier today. You better make allies with a homeless person, too. Right. Because, honestly, a homeless person can probably tell you where to hide at, and they might hide you. Yeah. You know, and help you. I'm being real with you. make allies with anybody. It ain't about the complexion of a person. It's just making allies with people. You know, so if I have to go back overseas, I know who to contact.
Yeah.
You know,
How important is law and history?
very important because history and law goes hand in hand. If you ever listen to Brother Taj and I speak, we always speak on law and history because history and law again goes hand in hand. You have to know your political stance. You got to understand, you know, who you are. For instance, in law, they have this thing called subject matter jurisdiction. Subject will be you. The matter is like this, the time and space, and the jurisdiction is something different. So in law, they have to have the subject, the matter, the time and space. Subject is you, your property. Okay, boom. Jurisdiction, where you live at. Now we can adjudicate on you. That's how it's set up. Where do you live at? Who are you? I'm Tommy Johnson. Okay, we got that part, the subject. Where you live at? 2222 Mockingbird Lane. Okay, we got the jurisdiction. Now we can adjudicate. That's how this whole thing is set up. Who are you? And this is when you hear Brother Taj always speak up the William Dungy case about the Moor. He was defending him, saying he's not a Negro, he's a Moor. So understanding the status, and this is even when Carter G. Woodson writes in his book about why would I take, what do you say? I'm trying to quote him the right way. Why would I take advice from someone who does not know their status and care less about it? Status is international. You got to know who you are. Just like they say, you ever see those commercials say, know your status? You ever hear them commercials about AIDS or whatever? Know your status.
Right.
Know your status. Know who you are. That's what this is about. So law and history goes hand in hand.
So what about the people who say that Moors aren't black, they Arab?
We are the Arabs. How about that part? You
Yeah.
see, and this is another thing. There's a book called that I brought with me that I'm gonna have in Atlanta on the 22nd. It's called The Unknown Arabs. Or you can look at it's another book called The Arabs in Sudan. So if you understand what an Arab is, it only means basically like a traveling person or a nomad or a noble person. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. You know, so you have Arabs that look darker than you.
Yeah.
See, people don't teach this in these schools. And why would they? So they have to teach you to hate an Arab when you don't truly know who an Arab is. That's what they were doing. If you even look at, for instance, the Middle East, which is Yemen. Yemen is part of Ethiopia, and you call it the Middle East. You're just crossing the Red Sea, which is called Eritrea. That's still your people. It's all the same. But they got you thinking it's these pale-faced because Hollywood painted it that way.
Who are some famous Moors that people could research if they want to know who was some important Moors or any type of history to who they could tap into?
Far as what philosophers like?
Any, whatever comes to mind.
Ibn Khaldun, Ibn Sina, Averroes. Then you have what's his other name? There's another brother that started the aviation in Cordoba, Spain. His name is Ibn Tesfin. If you know anything about aviation, you look up Ibn Tesfin. He was the first one that started to fly before the Wright brothers. People don't even know that. He started, but you're not being taught that. Ibn Tesfin was the one that jumped. He actually, when I was in Cordoba, there's a bridge that he jumped off at 67 years old and tried to fly, but he forgot the landing part. You know, but he started, and people don't even know, getting on these planes, don't even realize if it wasn't for him. The Wright brothers didn't start flying. It was Ibn Tesfin who started that.
I seen the picture on YouTube, Instagram. It was a guy. I don't know if you seen the show Airbender, the cartoon with the little kid.
I heard of it though.
Yeah, so they showed a video on the cartoon. He be jumping out of mountains and he be flying. He extend his arms and he'll fly out like Batman.
But that was Ibn Tesfin. It's a story. The story was based on Ibn Tesfin, but they would never put two and two together and say they was talking about you. They'll tell you it was the Wright brothers. See what I'm saying? I never even watched it, but it was Ibn Tesfin, and he broke both his legs at 67 years old doing it, and then he did it again. You know, and we out here in Huntsville, and we don't even know that we gonna. Oh my God, the NASA. Dude, if you get on planes, you don't know about Ibn Tesfin? Why would I teach you that? We gonna teach you that you was nothing but a slave, brother.
Right.
That's why you ain't invent nothing. You're black, remember?
Yeah. What made you produce a documentary on Noble Drew Ali?
I believe that it needed to be done, and I need to do an update to that. Noble Drew needed to be talked about also. He's another man that needs to be talked about. Noble Drawley.
And what's
So,
the name of that documentary?
The Prophet of the People.
Prophet of the People. Okay.
Yeah, the Prophet of the People.
So, what's your opinion with all the confusion on like with the Moors right now today? Like
Is something
people
going on
who
with them?
know they are Moors. Nah, what I mean is that.
It's confusion going on. I mean, I ain't in that lane right there. I don't know anymore. I don't know.
So what I mean is that it's people coming into the knowledge, and it's like it's a whole. It seems like it's division amongst Moors. Like it's like you got these type of Moors, them type of Moors, and
Well, you're gonna have that in everything that you do. You just need
Yeah.
to go to the right people. You're gonna
Yeah.
always have that.
so
you
I
know?
seen you was talking to Dr. G about 3 weeks ago, and it was talking about like the unity.
Yeah.
So out of that conversation, like what do you think like can help benefit us coming together, unifying, like moving forward?
Doing stuff like this, talking to the people, and presenting facts and information. My thing is like I heard all these conversations. I just act like I don't hear it, but I do hear it. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this: you don't condemn a dirty glass of water, you set a clean one up beside it. So you set up the clean glass beside the dirty glass and let the people choose it. That's all you got to do.
Right.
And that's where I'm at with all of this. And if people truly want this information, they will go to the right people for the information. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, just go to the right people for it.
What's your message for the youth that's listening right now?
Read, man. Read. I'm just being real with y'all. Read the right books. Read the right books. Not like 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. It's a very easy book. Nature Knows No Color Line. I can't say I don't want to be cliche. Stop killing each other. No, because this change redirect the energy, man.
Right. So let me ask you this before we get ready to wrap it up. How important is lectures and debate today? Because I don't see that often no more. But like the conscious community that I kind of grew up seeing, because it was interesting because you guys provided the information, like from the Hebrew Israelites, from the Moors to the Kemetic way. It was like at least the information was being brought, but it's like none of that's going on too much no more.
Because they killed it. The conscious community killed it. Because they chased the money. They chased the bag. Let me tell you something. Intellectual debates is cool. I'm with the intellectual debates, and that goes with anybody in any group. I don't care if you're a PhD or whatever. Intellectual debates is something different. Because I was at the beginning of all of this, this debate stuff. I just walked away from it, but intellectual debates is healthy.
Right.
I used to make a joke and say, well, I'm not going to debate these cats because it's like child abuse for me now.
Yeah.
Because it would be child abuse. And also John Henry Clark said, I only debate my equals, all others I teach. And that's what John Henry Clark said. I only debate my equals and all others I teach. So they are healthy if they are healthy debates. These are not healthy debates.
I can agree with you on that.
They're not.
The mind, you saying like the mind ain't right
Yeah.
now. The intention.
Nah, the intentions is not right, brother. They in it for the wrong reasons.
So what's next for Sabir Bey?
Well, we have the 22nd at Jay Morrison's spot in Atlanta. That's going to be lit with Brother Todd's 3 Band. We're going to be in Atlanta at the Legacy Center on April the 22nd. That's going to be crazy, dude. And we have
Next week.
Yes, next week. And we having a showing of Heavy as the Crown. The second part of Out of Darkness is going to be shown. It's about 30 minutes. We're going to show. Brother Taj and I are going to open up the floor for everybody for, I think we're going to show the film for 30 minutes. Then we only have 3 hours that we're working with. And the thing about what I love about my brother Carlos, what he did, he was the sponsor for that. And he wanted me to sit with Jay Morrison because I don't know if you remember when they did this thing called the Revolt Summit.
Yeah.
And they touched on a little bit about the Moors on the Revolt Summit. So now he wanted me to be in the room with Jay Morrison so we can explain to him the history of the Moors.
Because believe it or not, it's still going. People like,
oh, yeah.
I've been in a couple years, and now it's at the point where I'm hearing coming people like, they even jokingly, not even too conscious of like, yo, I'm a Hebrew, or they kind of
They're the same people, though. The Hebrews are the Moors, though. They're the same people. If you study the history, the Hebrews are Moors, too. They're going to have to come to it also. They're going to have to all come. Hey, Noble Drawley said this, brother. Listen, Noble Drawley said that it would be the 3rd and 4th generation coming with their eyes open. We are the 3rd and 4th generation from the 1920s, brother. So you don't have to force anything. They're going to have to all come, period.
So to the Christians out there, so what would you say to them?
I'm a Christian, too. I'm Christ-like. How about that part? No argument. They still Moors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They still Moors.
Right.
Same people.
Same people.
You ain't got to be a Muslim to be a Moor.
Right.
That's who we are. You have Moors that was Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Had nothing to do with your creed. Your creed has nothing to do with that. That's why Malcolm X said, keep your religion in the closet with you and your God.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your religion in that closet. Same people. You'd be surprised, brother. I got a cross. I got the Bible. I got everything in my house. The Tanakh, the Hebrew books. I got every book there is.
Yeah.
They all mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That had nothing to do with my nationality.
Yeah.
It's that simple. We make stuff complicated.
So before we get out, so what is your religion?
Life.
Life. So.
And that's what Bob Marley said. My religion is life.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
Is
life.
it?
Do unto others what you have others do unto you. See how that works?
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple.
What do people can follow you at?
Instagram. I believe they still got my Instagram up there. Real Sabir Bey. SABIRBEY. Sabir Bey on Instagram. YouTube. Same thing. Sabir Bey. SABIRBEY. And my Twitter is Real Sabir Bey. Real Sabir Bey on Twitter. And the email is knowledgeverses with Z's. knowledgeverses@gmail.com. Again, knowledgeverses@gmail.com. Yep.
And that's it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother. It was real. I like this. You got to do this again. I like this. Kind of cool.
We're going to get you back on here for a part 2, most
No
definitely.
doubt.
And make sure y'all check out and go get what can they find out of the darkness at.
Hit me up on SabirBeyMerchandise.squarespace.com. Again, SabirBeyMerchandise.squarespace.com.
And that's it, folks.
Check out Apollo Nation, Hustle and Motivate TV. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. It's your brother Sabir Bey, and I co-sign it. It is just like that.
That's what I like.